Liberal son? Not in my household, sissy boy. I taught him a lesson, and now he's trying to ruin my marriage. I love my teenage son, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed in the type of man he has been growing up to be. My son started developing a very liberal mindset ever since he started hanging out with his weird friends and spending all his time. It started off in his junior year when he dropped being the captain of the football team to do volleyball. From there he got a completely different friend group and started doing a lot of TikTok dances. Personally, I wasn't a fan and thought it was super weird. He also started dressing really baggy, and although at first I thought he was just bulking up, it turns out he just got a very feminine style. My wife and his older sister are very supportive, and I find him spending a lot more time with them than me. I've never confronted my son about his sexuality, and I really just don't want to know if he does happen to be gay. Our relationship is already sort of strained, and I feel like if I found out he wasn't straight, it would make it very hard for me to treat him the same. Like I said, I don't have a problem with gay people, I just don't want to be shoved in my face. Recently my son also hasn't been wanting to go on our usual hunting trips in our favorite forest or shoot some hoops with me. All he wants to do is stay on his stupid phone all day. I've had many confrontations with him recently. But I don't think he takes me seriously or even understands my concerns. That's when one day he got sick from school, probably from lack of sleep because he spends all night on his phone. I decided to stay home and watch him so that maybe I could have a man-to-man talk with him. My son was whining about how his head hurts, so I said to him, "Grow a pair, you're a man," as a joke. But he of course took it seriously and went up to his room. For lunch I cooked him my signature steak, something we hadn't eaten in a long time, but he refused and said he wanted some soup or sushi. I got mad at him and thought how ungrateful he was that I had done all of this for him and he wasn't even respectful enough to eat it. That's when I saw him going through my wife's cabinet looking for an aspirin and Theraflu. I asked him what he was doing and he said he was taking some medicine. I told him that he wasn't. Our bodies are meant to naturally heal themselves and not have those artificial cancers in our body. I insisted he tough it out for a day and that it was emasculating to take a pill, but he was persistent on taking the medicine. I had had enough. I told him to get in my car and that's when I drove him to the forest we used to love hunting in. I told him to find his way home, because he needed to toughen up. He was becoming such a little wuss and I always wanted my son to become a man like his father. I obviously didn't just leave him stranded, but I waited outside the edge of the forest. When he met me outside, he told me there was nothing worse I could do to him than continue being such a hateful father. I told him I was proud of him for making it out of the forest, but that he was grounded and wouldn't have his phone for the next month so that he could get back in his right mind. I was shocked that he would cry over such a stupid little thing, but he needed to learn a lesson, and one day he will thank me for this. When he got home though, what he did next shocked me.